Welcome to the Linguistics Show, where we talk about life, love, and everything else. There's always something to talk about with this couple, so you never know what may come out of their mouth.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Linguistics Show. I'm Carol.
This is Jason.
So let's pick up from last episode. So last episode we gave you a preview of this road trip, but it's important for us to let you all know how this came about. Mm-hmm. So in any kind of relationship, whether you're married or even friends or even siblings as well, you're going to have someone who is spontaneous and someone who is not so spontaneous.
Why does there have to be like a designation, like somebody's the wet blanket and somebody's the party person? Like, that's not always the case. Every relationship or friendship doesn't always have someone who's less or more spontaneous.
I'm thinking of my friendships, and I'm not saying that each of them, that like their level of being spontaneous is like, I'm gonna go skydiving on a whim's notice, but that probably doesn't make sense on a whim's notice. But anyhow, but I think it is true. Like most friendships, marriages, if you're dating, someone's spontaneous, someone's less spontaneous. So like my spontaneous is, hey girls, it's Saturday, let's go to the park. Because that wasn't planned, so that for me is spontaneous. That for you is not spontaneous at all. That for you is like, okay, Carol, it's a park. That's not that interesting.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, it's having the idea of having something to do when there's nothing to do. Being spontaneous isn't necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It could lead you to a lot of trouble, too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad or good at all, but I'm just saying that usually one person is more of that than the other. And so today we're talking more so about spontaneity versus practicality. Look at me using my words that end in ITY.
U-N-I-T-Y.
Adverbs. I don't know.
That's a unity. Okay. I'm sorry. I got throwback. Sorry. Anyway, yes, using your big words on the Linguistics podcast. But yes, I mean, like we said before, like if you really wanted to say it from a relativity perspective, yes, everybody, you might have someone in every grouping of people who is more spontaneous than the other. Like, that's just something that just happens. However, what I'm saying is that as it pertains to being spontaneous, it's not necessarily one of those things that's a good or a bad thing. It can be a gift and a curse. It's just more one of those things that's just, some people like me happen to be, yay, let's just go do this. Let's just go do that. That looks like that might be fun. Let's just go do this. And some people are a little bit more apprehensive and have to plan it out and make sure that it's what they want and double check the plans and then look up the address and do Google Maps to the address, even though you're not leaving for 3 months, but still do Google Maps to the address so you know how to get there, and then find alternate routes to the address. And then once you plan all that stuff out, like, then you don't even really want to go anymore, and you're not even having fun because you're so worried about the plan. That's my thing as it pertains to spontaneity, as far as how would you say, excursions, trips, and things like that are concerned. Like, if you're doing too much, like, planning is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. You want to have a plan. You got to have a plan, or you're just going to be wasting time. However, too much planning, and now you're into the realm of you're not getting anything done because all you're worried about is the plan. Are we sticking to the plan? Are we on time for the plan? We're behind schedule. We're ahead of schedule. This isn't yada, yada, yada. You're more worried about the plan than you are about actually enjoying the fruits of said plan.
I agree. And that was a whole lot of detail, and some of those things apply to me. But let me
that was me spitting my drink out just now, laughing because yes.
For our listeners, not every single thing that Jason was saying applies to me.
I didn't say it did apply to you. I said, but like you.
There's only one other person on this show, so it's me. But anyhow, like with being married, it's really important to have a balance. And so it's not always about taking a trip. It's about just doing things in general. And so Jason is the spontaneous one. I am less spontaneous. So I have said that, like, jokingly on a few other episodes, or just in life in general, that people know that I need to plan things out. So I know what I'm doing.
Well, sir,
or have an idea what I'm doing.
No, I understand that. I mean, it does give you a bit of a feeling of security. It makes you feel like you know what's going on and you know what to expect. Now, ironically, as it pertains to my work, I am a diligent planner. I'm one of those people that has a plan for the plan, and then I have a backup plan in case both plans don't work out. But I'm also the type of person who can pivot to spontaneity and figuring out something to do in the moment. I guess a lot of my coworkers and supervisors over the years, they have told me that when stuff gets crazy, that's when I'm actually at my best. That I'm one of those people that can come up with a plan now and then pivot to the new plan when the old plan doesn't work out. And sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but at least we tried. And so as far as spontaneity is concerned in your relationship, it is important to kind of mix things up, keep it spicy, do things different, because it will get stale and old. Myself and my wife have been married for a long time. 2004 was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Our marriage is a whole adult. Do you realize that our marriage is an adult? Our marriage can vote. Our marriage can go vote. Like our marriage is a whole adult almost.
Yeah,
almost there, man. Our marriage can get drafted and go to the war. Like, that's how serious our marriage is. Our marriage can go buy cigarettes in some states. They bumped up the cigarette tax like that. Anybody should be smoking cigarettes. But anyway, that's a topic for another episode. But as it pertains to spontaneity in your relationship, yes, it is important to kind of spice things up, keep things going, but it also is important to have a plan so you know where you're going and what you're doing so you can feel secure and comfortable inside of what's going on. So it's the best of both worlds. I know that didn't give you an answer at all. That was just kind of random, and both sides of it, I'm sorry, that's what I did.
Yeah, I agree that they both are a good thing and a bad thing. And like with me, people who know me personally, people who are getting to know me, they know that. Well, actually, the people who don't know me so well would think that I'm spontaneous and bold because I'm very talkative. But
that's because they just met her, and a little bit of that Jason magic is rubbing off on her. Let me give you a little bit more of my secret sauce. Keep going.
It's the mumbo sauce.
It's not mumbo sauce. Mumbo sauce is not my secret sauce. That secret's been out, DMV. We talked about mumbo sauce before. We'll talk about mumbo sauce again. I'm not talking about the band. We can talk about them too, but that's another topic. That's another topic and another topic. But my secret sauce is not mumbo sauce.
Okay.
Continue.
Well, thank you, baby. And so, I do admit that I am someone who does not like trying new things, and so as I've grown in this marriage that is almost an adult and almost legally able to vote and all that kind of stuff, I've had to learn from Jason to relax a lot. So I won't say a little bit, but I'll say I've learned to relax a whole lot because I was the person, and still am to a certain extent, who wants to keep a schedule for certain things, but my schedule timeline does not usually end up timely because I am unfortunately the queen of tardiness.
I was not gonna be this person today. I was not gonna be this person.
It's part of who I am. I'm not proud of it.
I was really trying not to be this person today because I didn't want to. I'm not. And I told myself in 2022 I was going to stop being mean to you about being late all the time. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to be this person today. It's hard to be spontaneous and late. Do you imagine how that is? Be someone who's into planning and scheduling and still be late.
Yeah, it's like an oxymoron. It's like are you the same person? I mean, I have good intentions, but it doesn't always work out.
And ironically, I'm the spontaneous one who will do anything at a moment's notice and can get caught up and out of bounds and far away from home or whatever, and I still be finding ways to be on time and early for everything.
So that's a good way that it's good to have balance, and not saying, and I'm in no way saying that y'all need to have one person who is captain late. That's not a good thing at all. But if you do, hopefully your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever, is gonna be timely.
And you don't need somebody who's necessarily the punctuality police either. That can get annoying. I'm definitely not the punctuality police, but I do make it a kind of a come on, I'm gonna be on time for this type of situation.
Your punctuality police is that version of you is sitting in the living room in the dimness. I would say darkness, but in the dimness. I'm thinking, where is he? Is he still getting ready? And I'll come down and you're still sitting there. I'm like, oh, okay. He's been waiting for me for who knows how long for me to get myself together. So let's bring it back to spontaneity when it comes to this road trip that we talked about last episode. And so since y'all know I am not spontaneous, I don't like trying new things.
Not at all.
I'm a nervous Nelly, but I'm very outgoing and talkative in some scenarios, but I'm still not too spontaneous, and Jason is. And so Jason has jokes about how 2021 was my year because I turned 40, and so
I have jokes about the 40th year extravaganza that was Carol. Anyway,
I don't got jokes. That was a good year.
2021.
So 2021. So I decided January of 2021. So I was still 39. That starting the next month in February, I'm gonna open my mind to trying new things, to being more adventurous, because I have done things in previous years that were spontaneous, such as driving from Maryland to what county was the only to Daytona Beach count. It's not the county, but anyhow, like driving. I drove from.
No,
that's not what I'm talking about. Like when Melanie had her babies, you
did that on your own. I was amazed that you even did that for real.
So was Shanika. She was shocked too. So was my mom and dad. They were like, "You're driving by yourself for like 12 hours nonstop alone without any notice?" I was like, yes, because my sister needs me. She needs her sister or anyone in the family. And so I'm going down there. I gave you maybe like 2 days notice that like, okay, I'm leaving. You're like, you're really shocked. So that was my first, I guess, time being totally spontaneous. But last year, again, I had decided I'm going to try new things. And so when it was time for our kids' spring break, which was actually last year was early April and not late April like it was this year. On a
side note, the spring break this year is ignorant. Come on, guys.
It was after Easter.
No, I like the pre-Easter spring break. I like spring break that ends at Easter. I don't like this Easter then spring break situation. This just feels like everybody else is back in school except us. This just feels weird. Anyway, continue.
This depends.
It feels weird, dude. Like it feels weird that like my kids are the only kids I know who aren't at school right now.
Well, we met some kids last night.
That don't count.
Who was there?
They in a whole nother state. We only talking about DMV. We only talking about DMV school schedules. We ain't talking about people from a whole other. Come on, young. Why are we doing this, babe?
What up, Jay and Tara? Hope to have you on the show soon. That will be cut out.
They ain't gotta cut it out, man. You can get people shout out in the show. The point of the matter is this: is that Charles County's messing up by doing this post Easter spring break, man. It's gonna be summer, and these kids are still gonna be in school because we keep pausing school every 5 minutes for everything. Anyway,
well, thank you.
Carol actually got spontaneous on us on the low.
Yeah, and so it was the Tuesday before spring break started. So I gave Jason this plan. I gave him this plan, an idea that I had of taking a road trip. And so Jason thought maybe I met like in the summer, maybe I don't know, next year. He didn't think I met like that same week.
You gotta understand that Carol don't even make a decision to go to Giant same day. She makes the decision yesterday and makes a list and then goes to Giant. Like I can't even get my girl to go to the grocery store or Target or Walmart. Like, come on, let's just go. No, let's just figure this. It's like young.
Usually that's how I am.
By the time she figures out what she needs, I'm already at Walmart. So anyway, yes, she decided last minute, which already was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Like, okay?
We're making a trip last minute,
and it's not even in our same state.
It was like I had to check her ID, just make sure this who is this woman that's in here. That's not Carol. That's not a Carol move. But anyway, yes, it was. I was like, yo, you know me. I was like, first of all, I'm the type of person that I don't care what the excuse is. Road trip, you sold me.
Well, of course.
I'll take a road trip. I'll take a road trip no matter what. I love road trips. I'm all about the road trip. I like the music. I like driving. I like cars. I like looking at other cars while I'm driving. I like seeing the scenery. I like new places, new foods, new people, new experiences. I'm all about the road trip. Like, for real, I am that guy. I like the road trip. So she said road trip. I was like, oh yeah, say less. I'm already packed.
Yeah, because you're used to that. It's kind of being spontaneous on a whim. That's not me. And so I gave Jason this idea. He eventually realized that I was serious. That I was not like kidding. I meant like let's leave in 2 days for this multi-state road trip to the. I guess that'll be the South. And the lower,
the dirty South,
lower Midwest and the South and all that.
What you know about the? Okay, we don't have permission to use this music, so we won't.
I don't know that song.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know what song that was.
Oh, we have to get my dog. Okay, so we're gonna have to get my wife an Outkast album, and then when we get back from making her listen to Southern Playalistic Cadillac music from top to bottom, then you would know about what we knew about the Dirty South.
When you do it in your voice, I didn't know what you were saying.
Dirty South. Okay. Anyway, yes, we went on a multi-state extravaganza across the Dirty South.
Yes, and so. When it was time to tell our kids what we're doing, I don't know if they were confused or shocked or.
So all three of them had different reactions. So first of all, the oldest was like, seriously?
Like, why?
What? Why would we just be driving to another state? Just because? Are we going to Six Flags? Are we going to Disney World? She didn't understand the purpose of actually just going somewhere. Then Angelina couldn't believe that you actually made a decision to do something spontaneous. She was like, wait. She was like, wait, what? Mommy's idea is for us to go drive where? Huh? In her Angie Prissy voice, and then Ashley's like, I don't care, let's go, man, that'll be fun. I just need my tablet.
So she can sleep in the car.
Right, I just need my pillow and my tablet. I don't care, let's go. And my blanket, let's go. I want the backpack seat. That's Ashley. That's all she cares about she wants to be comfortable and fed. That's all Ashley cares about, man. She's a diva.
That's the good life. Just make sure I'm comfortable and not hungry.
As long as she's comfortable and fed, she don't care what happens.
Yeah. And so that in retrospect was an eye-opener for me in just realizing the importance of getting out of my comfort zone. Because Jason knows from a previous road trip to Florida with the whole family that I never wanted to go on any more trips ever in my life that were maybe more than 10, 11 hours. But the good thing about this was that it was broken up. So, of course, we didn't drive nonstop. We did make several stops. And so this trip started out with the intention of just seeing different maybe kinds of landmarks, monuments, historical items, but turned into
Pause. Your lady across from me speaking on the microphone said this was a Black History Tour.
I was getting there.
This is a Black History Tour. Now, me being the person that I am as the sports dad and also the person who is thinking about long-term things, thought to myself, we have a child going into high school next year. Maybe it'll be beneficial for this to be a college visit kind of trip as well. And then that was the whirlwind sound effect. It all came together to be a dope, crazy trick.
A dope, crazy trick? A trip?
Trip with a P on the end. My bad. Anyway, it ended up being a dope, crazy trip.
And so you're right. That I forgot that I had given this a name. I gave it the Black History is American History road trip.
The Black History is American History road trip.
And I made sure there was a trip that our kids will never forget, whether it was because of how long it was, meeting new people, their mom doing things that may have embarrassed them, which we'll get to, I guess.
So first of all, we started first of all, I'm not allowed to say that phrase. No, Carol's not allowed to say that phrase, so I'm allowed to say first of all. So I rescind my bell hit because I didn't say like I said. I said first of all. So first of all, we had before we even started the trip, Captain Bogart over here had to decide whether we were going east or south first, and I explained to her how the different routes worked out because Jason knows how to read a map, number one, and Jason also is the person who does all of the driving on these road trips.
I don't mind driving. You don't want me to drive.
We are a road trip family. We will go on a road trip. We bought that old big giant Suburbans for the express purpose of seeing the country. And quite frankly, Big Girl has done her job. She has come through in the clutch on multiple road trips. We've driven to Florida in that bad boy twice. We've driven, no, it was once. Yeah, because the first time was in the Hummer, right? Was that in the Hummer the first time we drove to Florida? for
No.
So we've driven to Florida in the Suburban twice. We've driven to New York in the Suburban. We were going to drive to Buffalo into the Suburban, but my wife decided to go to the most ghettoest place on earth. And in case anybody is a frequent listener to the Linguistics Podcast, you know what the ghettoest place on earth is, don't you? What is it, Carol?
The Clinton Walmart.
The Clinton Walmart, man. This is the most ghettoest place on the planet. And instead of going to the Walmart here, or instead of going to the Walmart in La Plata, which is kind of our little bougie, we want to go to where the white people shop because it's much nicer Walmart, so we go there, or we go to the one in Waldorf, which is actually on the way to the birthday party you were going to.
Yes, I could have gone to that one.
But instead, she decided to go to where?
To the Clinton Walmart.
The Clinton Walmart. That's where I need a sound effect. It's like, boom, 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 the most ghettoest place on earth. And so, a woman that was high off pills, and you could smell the alcohol on her. This old woman wrecked our Suburban. It's still jacked up. Even though we got it fixed, the door still is jacked up. Wrecked our Suburban, and we ended up going in a Durango, which actually was a pretty cool little truck, parenthetically. It was a cool road trip, because the Durango was pretty cool. It still had 3 rows of seats. Cramped. It was a little bit more cramped than what we're used to, because we're used to a Suburban, which has a Cadillac trunk. It has 7 seats. It has the captain seats, the TV, and the DVD player. We're spoiled. It's the road trip Veek. We love the Suburban. It was the ghetto Suburban when it had 22s on it and it was and some knock in the trunk, but it doesn't matter. It's the family truckster. It's a cool little truck. The point of the matter is this: is that yes, we rolled our 2009 Suburban out here and drove from Maryland to Virginia. First stop, did we stop in Richmond? No, we didn't stop in Richmond. First stop was First stop was Charlotte. Right. First stop was Charlotte
with the college.
So first of all, before we even get into this, I have a road trip rule. I like to leave for the road trip at evening rush hour. The reason being is because we actually are from somewhere. We live in a major city, so unfortunately, rush hour kicks our tails. It takes 2 hours to get 20 miles in this area. It really does. It's no exaggeration during rush hour. So I like to leave during that so that we don't have to see nobody else's evening rush hour.
You'd like to leave overnight when it's dark.
Yes, I do. I like to do that as well so that everybody can be asleep and y'all can leave me alone and I can listen to music and just drive and vibe out. But that's neither here nor there. So we left at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
But my ladies, we have to make multiple stops and things like that. So we get to North Carolina, right? We go through the whole Virginia. So first of all, Virginia is the least driver-friendly, road trip-friendly state in the Union. Virginia, if you can avoid Virginia at all costs, avoid Virginia. And it's hard because it's like a whole big giant piece of the East Coast map. You can't really avoid it, but try. Try your hardest if you can avoid Virginia. Go all the way to Tennessee and West Virginia if you can do it. Just avoid that whole Commonwealth. The fact that it's a Commonwealth should tell you everything you need to know. It's not a state. It's a Commonwealth. They are out to get you, bro. They want to give you tickets. They want to mess your trip up to get revenue. So please avoid Virginia. But anyway, we drive all the way to Richmond and then all the way to Petersburg. And that's our first stop. Is at the little rest stop. Everybody gets their little bathroom breaks. Whoop, whoop, de whoop. We keep going, right?
And so mention our bathroom.
Because man, I was the one who was driving. Y'all wasn't driving. All these things are important because as a dad and a road trip god, what is most important to me is not letting these other cars pass me after I've already worked so hard to pass them. I don't want them passing me back and slowing me down in my left lane, man. I got to stay ahead of these people, man. So anyway, we get to our first stop, which is what? The Raleigh-Durham area. So now, just for parenthetical reference in case you didn't already know, my wife's brother has a stepson who is wide receiver for NC State. He's a really good player, really good player, and
Anthony.
He's a really good player. So we know that area a little bit. Carol also has a niece who lives in the area in the Charlotte area. So we decided that we would go down to North Carolina, and as we were passing through the Raleigh-Durham area on 85, that we would go ahead and check out these colleges too, because again, We got that freshman in high school. She should be exposed to some colleges other than Morgan State and University of Maryland.
Of course.
Because that's all she's ever seen is she's seen Morgan State, University of Maryland, and George Mason and Howard. That's the extent of her experience.
Because she was in 7th grade. Like, we're not going to do a college tour when you're in middle school.
I'm not talking about going to a college tour. I'm just saying that's why you expose her to schools, so she can see them. So we enter North Carolina, right? We're in the Raleigh-Durham area. We're trying to figure out our way around. So what's our first stop? We say we're going to go check out Duke. We go to, we drive on up. We go to Duke. We see all these like Gothic-looking buildings and all of the Caucasian students, and it looked really pretty campus. We couldn't even really find the campus at first. It was hard to even get to.
Behind all those trees.
It was hella secluded, which was weird. It was super weird. And so at this point, it had to be about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, granted, when we left, we had breakfast. We had not had lunch yet. We had some little snacks in the car that I remember somebody jacked up the snacks, but that's something for another time.
Somebody is me, right?
No, it wasn't you. It was one of your daughters. One of your daughters jacked up the snacks because we had a number of sandwiches and they didn't do the sandwiches right, and so all the sandwiches were smushed and soggy and wet, and so they were all those ham sandwiches, turkey sandwiches, and joints wasn't even edible. They were just trash. So anyway, we decided after we went to after we went to Duke, but then we were gonna, University of North Carolina is right up the street, so we're gonna check that out. But before we do, we're gonna get something to eat. Because all these ladies in my truck are hungry and I don't want that smoke. So I'm going to feed they asses because I don't want that smoke. I just said that. I don't want that smoke.
You can't be hungry.
Have you ever been in a vehicle with 4 hungry women? One of them is ovulating. Drama. And at that point, the other one actually, I think, oh my God, drama.
Stop putting
drama. I'm not putting their business out there, but I have women in my life, and it's drama. It's drama. There's a lot of hormones in that vehicle, and I got to feed these women so they don't kill me or each other. So.
Well, you got Ashley, who's calm and relaxed.
So we decided that on this road trip, myself and my oldest daughter, who is a kindred spirit when it comes to weird things like me, she decided, as I did, that we were going to look up all the weird restaurants we'd never been to. They're not weird. Let me take that back. All the restaurants that we'd never been to or don't have the chance to go to because we live in a weird area of the country, the Mid-Atlantic. We aren't in the Northeast. We aren't in the South. We're in the Mid-Atlantic. We have our own vibe.
Yeah,
we have our own vibe. Yeah, we're talking about crabs and go-go. Like, we have our own vibe. Old Bay and mumbo sauce. Yeah, we have our own vibe. Gray New Balance and North Face. We have our own vibe. Nike boots. We have our own vibe and phone posits. Anyway, we decided that we'll get something to eat. So 3 of the restaurants that we identified, actually the 4 main restaurants we identified as non-DMV restaurants that we had to visit while we was in the South with an F, was Zaxby's, Cookout.
Mm-hmm. That Biscuitville,
Biscuitville.
Let me just say that
Biscuitville,
because you know that I don't like trying new things. So like sometimes names of products or places just maybe not even want to try it. So I'm like,
the name of the restaurant is Biscuitville.
I don't want any food from there.
This woman actually goes to the Confederate Cracker Barrel and orders biscuits by the dozen. But we'll sit here and tell me I don't want to go somewhere named Biscuitville. This woman, who I am related to by marriage, will go to a Popeyes and order biscuits. Them biscuits have been known to kill people if you don't have adequate hydration. Them biscuits will take you down, and she'll down a biscuit. But now we don't want to go to Biscuitville. So anyway, see how we get distracted on these tangents? So, Cookout, Biscuitville, Zaxby's, and Waffle House.
Okay.
Those were the 4 restaurants we determined that we really can't get in the DMV like that. So we were going to go to these 4 restaurants. And so, halfway in between Duke University and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, there just so happened to be a Cookout. So we go to the drive-through Cookout, and everybody's like, what's this raggedy little restaurant? I'm like, young, look at all these people here. It's got to be good. It's got to be good. Look at all these people here. There were students all over the place. drive-through cars wrapped around the building.
Cookout.
Yeah, not the cookout. You're thinking about the cookout when we were in Virginia on the way home from something else. That's a different thing. I'm talking about the first cookout experience where we were all introduced to the joy that is cheer wine. Oh my God, cheer wine. So anyway, we do it. We go cookout, and so we never been to cookout. We ain't understand that the cookout ordering system has its whole own system. We've talked about this before. They have their own system. They literally are trying to sell you a to-go plate. We're like you literally get a styrofoam to-go plate, and you pick what goes in your styrofoam to-go plate. It's not like a combo like you go to McDonald's. Let me get a number 2 with extra fries and no, it ain't even like that. You got to pick your whole to-go plate. So we figured out the menu, which we had no idea about. And thank God that we had a nice person
She was so patient.
She could tell. She probably could tell. She's probably like, these damn northerners in this car don't know what the hell they want with they out of town asses. So that's probably what she was thinking. But she was super chill. She was cool. And then homeboy at the window when he handed us the food, he was they were chill. So big ups to the Chapel Hill cookout. Y'all some good peoples. I know y'all probably didn't hear this podcast, but guess what? Big ups to the Chapel Hill. This is where you put the little reggae horn. That's where you put the reggae horn. Big ups to the Chapel Hill cookout. Y'all were cool people, and you helped some people that didn't know nothing about no damn cookout. So let's critique cookout first. The fries were really kind of whack. The fries were whack. We're spoiled. Like, we get good fries up here. Fries are whack. We're used to good fries, but then again, if push comes to shove, Captain Road Trip that I am, I'll go get boardwalk fries. That's just how much I like French fries. So anyway, the fries were whack. The burgers were actually banging. The burgers themselves were banging. So big ups to Cookout for that. They give you all the options you might want. They got milkshakes that's crazy. All kinds of crazy milkshake options. And at that time, I was kind of on some, I'm not really eating all that fat and salt and sugar and stuff like that. So I'm not going to have one of the crazy milkshakes as much as I wanted a peach milkshake or a watermelon milkshake, as bad as I wanted it. So what did I get to drink? So I'm ordering drinks, and this one wants a lemonade, this one wants a Sprite, this one wants a water, this one wants a lemonade. Everybody gets lemonade in my family. Wifey wants a root beer with light ice.
Yes, gotta have light ice.
And so I said, all right, well, let me go ahead and get a cherry Coke. I don't really drink soda, so I'm ordering this for my wife. I actually had a water and an energy drink in the car already, so I'm ordering this for Carol because I know she liked cherry Coke. Let me go ahead and get a cherry Coke. Oh, we don't have cherry Coke. We got cheer wine. It's like, the fuck? All right, go ahead and give me a cheer wine. We get the cheer wine, right? Drive away from the cookout. Everybody eating. It's quiet in the car. Must mean food's pretty good. Because it's quiet, ain't nobody saying that. They eat. They stuff in their face. And so I took a sip of the drink. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That was unexpected. That was pretty tasty. I let my wife taste it. She was like, that is pretty good. I did not get the cup back.
But it was for me, right?
I did not get my cup back. No, ma'am. The root beer with light ice was for you, ma'am. Okay. I did not even get my cup back. That's how good the cheer wine was. Cheer wine, for the uninitiated, is like cherry soda. So not like cherry Coke. It's like cherry soda. So it's kind of dark, kind of like dark red. It's not super sweet. Banging though, really good with some ice, like super cold, really good. So yeah, that was our cookout experience. We had cookout. Then we go to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Pretty school, very beautiful campus. I'll give them that. Very beautiful campus. Our oldest daughter really liked the design of the campus. She thought it was pretty cool. Whoop whoop de whoop. We leave from University of North Carolina after you guys all went and saw the soccer stadium and the baseball stadium.
Because we did get out and walk around.
And then we went to the Dean Dome. We saw the Dean Dome and the big mural. This is right after Dean Smith had retired, so we saw the big mural on the Dean Dome and everything like that. So that was pretty cool. And so from that point, it's starting to get to the later evening, and we're trying to make it to go meet Erica and Charlotte. Now, I'd been to Charlotte before. I've passed through there before, also on my way down south. Carol been there as well. And so Charlotte is a pretty city. I got to be honest. Beautiful city. Like when you're driving up on it and you see the lights and the buildings, Charlotte is a beautiful city. I give y'all props for that. Now, the rest of North Carolina don't look pretty like that. I'll be honest. Like it just doesn't. Charlotte is a beautiful city. It's like when you're driving west, kind of southwest on 85. It's almost like an oasis. It's like you're just driving in the middle of nowhere. It ain't nothing but mountains and farms and little country hamlets and Confederate flags and pickup trucks everywhere. And all of a sudden you see this big bright light, and that's Charlotte. Everything's turquoise. Just like the Hornets just like the Hornets and the Panthers, everything's turquoise, and it's a beautiful city. So then we met Erica and her
husband. Now,
yep.
I will say that by this point, I was physically exhausted from just sitting. I didn't do anything. I was just sitting and sleeping, but I was still really, really tired.
We'd been in the car at that point. We'd been in a Suburban probably.
We didn't walk around at the schools, though.
We walked around Chapel Hill a little bit. We didn't really walk around Duke. We just kind of drove around Duke, but we walked around Chapel Hill a little bit. Again, a beautiful campus. Now, remember, both myself and Carol are spoiled by University of Maryland. Like, University of Maryland's a beautiful campus.
It is.
But Chapel Hill, I'll give it to you. Chapel Hill,
very nice.
Chapel Hill is like that traditional, like if you're watching a movie, like this is what a college looks like. That's what Chapel Hill looks like. It's a very beautiful, traditional, beautiful campus. So anyway, it's starting to get dark. We're trying to figure our way around Charlotte so we can meet Erica. North Carolina, y'all got too many highways, parenthetically.
It was very confusing.
Very confusing.
For anyone who knows me or doesn't know me, family is very important to me. So whether it's my niece several states away, if it's cousins who haven't seen in years, or whoever it is. So I was determined that we are going to meet Erica somewhere in Charlotte, even though I was exhausted physically and I was getting sleepy. And Jason, I knew, was getting frustrated by me wanting to stop and then him wanting to keep on going.
I just be trying to get to the destination because from my perspective, the goal is to get my family to the destination safely. It's not. So yes, I like road trips because I like the sightseeing. I like, again, like we said before, I do enjoy the driving. I like cars. I like that whole vibe. I like the music. I do enjoy just going through the dial sometimes. And we got satellite radio because we love road trips. Well, me and my wife decided that years ago. We were gonna get. Matter of fact, we bought satellite radio for that trip to Disney World. When we drove to Disney World, I remember because I was listening to the NBA Finals the whole night while y'all were all asleep. I was listening to the finals, so it was a good look for me. But anyway, yes, I don't mind the actual trip, but my goal again is to get the family where they need to be safely. So yes, you're right. I don't want extra stops. I don't want all these U-turns and things like that. But North Carolina has too many highways. There's only one other state we've been in that has more highways unnecessarily than North Carolina does. And that honor goes to the wonderful state of Ohio. Half of y'all state is paved. The other half of y'all state is grass and trees. So I don't even know how y'all have cities and farms and other stuff in your state because the whole state is highways. But anyway, North Carolina. Yes. We get to Charlotte, right?
So we finally meet up with my niece, and it was late, it was dark, and I told
Angie was awake, I remember.
And so I told Erica, my niece, that we are going to meet you. We made a few wrong turns based on my bad directions and like misreading street signs or whatever, but I was like, we're going to meet up with you and your husband. I cannot drive through Charlotte without seeing you. So it was late, she was sleepy, so was her husband, but we did meet up with her, and it was just really good seeing her because I haven't seen her in a couple of years, but I've talked to her, but I haven't seen her, so just like seeing her face meant a lot to my night. So after that, I could finally go to sleep in the car after seeing
Lord have mercy. So one of the things when you're the ladies, I need y'all to understand this for your guy friends when y'all go on trips. One of the things that we want from you when we're on said trips is to keep us company. You don't got to do much.
You say that a lot.
You ain't got to do much but sit there and look cute and just say things here and there. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that might be fun. I remember that song. Do you remember when this happened?
Just like 11 at night.
Just to keep a brother company. But no. All I hear is snoring from the 8-year-old, who at that time was 7, snoring from the 7-year-old, or was she even 6 at that point?
She was 6.
She was still 6 at that point.
Spring, yeah.
So snoring from the 6-year-old, snoring from the 39-year-old. I hear the headphones from the 11-year-old, and then the oldest doesn't snore, but she was knocked out with her head leaning back over the top of the chair, passed out. So it's starting to get dark, and me, I trust the GPS. I know how to drive places, so I'm like, all right, bet. Next destination is South Carolina, Simpsonville, South Carolina. We going to Pop's house, right? We go to Pop's new house. We get there, it's middle of the night, get everybody out this goddamn truck, get them in the house, let's get to bed, right? Wake up the next morning. Now what are we doing? Going to Atlanta.
Now for Atlanta, so family is really important, but
You already said that.
I know, but
that's how important it is. You guys, so nice. You gotta say it twice. That's how important it is. She had to say it again.
Yes, but my dad's side of the family, I guess we are not really close in terms of proximity to where we live, or just like me knowing a lot of my dad's side, and so. My dad knew that, hey, Dad, we're going to be going through this road trip so we can stay at your house for a night. And so he insisted that I call Cousin Charlie. Who that is, I had no clue. Didn't know him. My dad gave me the whole backstory of he's so-and-so's grandson. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. But okay. So I coordinated with Cousin Charlie a few days in advance. So that way we knew where they live, if they can house a family of 5, which they could. That was awesome. It was in an Atlanta suburb, so that was good. But just me having to say, hey family, as in kids and Jason, we're going to be staying at a cousin's house who I don't know. I've never heard of him before. Now, that caused a little bit of apprehension because that was spontaneous to stay at a stranger's house. But in the end, Jason was on board because I guess it was kind of pushed on us that we're staying with Cousin Charlie and his family.
We're skipping several steps before we get to Cousin Charlie. So first of all, we woke up, we stayed at Pop's house, and so the first thing we're thinking is, oh yeah, we still have to get something to eat. So we had to go to one of these random restaurants we've never been to. But before we can even do that, because we try so hard to believe in our children. We really do try to believe in our children, and our youngest is very smart. All of them are smart for their age, but our youngest is a really high achiever, and so somebody trusted her to pack luggage correctly.
Okay, now I will say that I did not go through her bag piece by piece the way that I should have. So that's definitely on me for looking in general, but not peeking at every single item.
So we wake up in the morning and we realize that Ashley
does not have the right clothes for the weather.
Not at all. She has nothing she could actually wear. So just like all black folks, every time we go out of town anywhere, what do we have to do? We have to find out whether or not this little town got a Walmart.
Or a Target.
Because that's what all black folks do every time we go out of town, man. We got to go to the Walmart. That's what we do every time we go out of town. So we go and we try to go find a Walmart. But before we leave the Simpsonville area, we try Restaurant 2 on our country restaurant tour, Zaxby's.
That was good.
Zaxby's, you even have to kind of say it like Zaxby's. You got to say it like you had a couple of cups of Hennessy in your system already. Zaxby's. Like you just drank a mint julep with your top hat and your spectacles. Zaxby's. Like you went from the country somewhere and you live on a plantation.
Okay.
Zaxby's. Zaxby's is great. They got bomb-ass chicken. They got chicken sandwiches just like Popeyes, but nicer. Of course, when you got little ones, they got them nuggets and french fries. We know the kids love the little chicken nuggies and french fries, so they got everybody out the way. We got on the highway and we pushing towards Atlanta,
Lawrenceville. Whoop whoop.
So as we get to the Atlanta area, Carol's trying to coordinate things with her cousin and stuff like that, and we try to figure out what we was going to do with our day since we're in Atlanta, right?
And mind you, he's a stranger. I've only talked to him on the phone twice, and that was the same week.
So again, Carol is continuously going through her phone and trying to coordinate things, and so what we decided to do, because Atlanta is a tourist trap, they got lots of cool stuff you can see in Atlanta, especially downtown in that whole Centennial Park area. So we go and we decide for the first day we are going to go to the College Football Hall of Fame.
Chick-fil-A College Football Hall of Fame.
Yes, the conservative chicken College Football Hall of Fame. Yes, and so it was pretty cool. The best part about it was when we got there, you first walk in and they have this whole wall that's maybe 40 feet tall, just full of different helmets. And you go in there and you register yourself as a user. So they give you a little kind of press pass, little badge thingy. You go up to the computer and you say where you're from, your name, and you know where you went to school or what your favorite school is. And it was crazy because I looked on there and they had all the HBCUs. They even had Division II and Division III schools. Salisbury University is up on there, and I click on the thing and there it goes, a big giant S with a seagull on the side. That was dope. So that was pretty cool, right? And so we all picked our different schools. Of course, Carol picked
University of Maryland, obviously.
I thought you picked Bowie.
Did I pick Bowie?
I'm almost certain you picked Bowie. But the point is Carol picked that.
My tag's upstars in the room
Aaliyah
somewhere.
picks
I don't know.
Howard. Aaliyah picked Howard. Angelina picks UCLA. And then Ashley picked University of Maryland. Aww. I'm almost certain that you picked Bowie State because that's your little grad school. So anyway,
all my business out there. Dang.
First of all, if they listen to this podcast, they already know our daggone business. But anyway,
they don't know where I went. They don't know that I went to grad school at all. I don't talk about that. I don't.
You should talk about it. What's wrong with talking about being in grad? Well, see how we get on tangents, and that's why we got to edit everything. So anyway, we walking around College Football Hall of Fame, and if you've never been, it's pretty cool. You get to, the Chick-fil-A College Football Hall of Fame because somebody really likes chicken nuggies. So I got to give the shout out every time, and I probably got to go get her some chicken nuggies when I get out of this. No, but anyway. We walk around and it's pretty cool. It's really interactive, and the things change, like your fight song and uniforms and everything like that. It's really cool. So cool. A cool museum experience. They had a big exhibit for University of Maryland with their Under Armour uniforms. We were talking about uniforms and stuff like that. Big exhibit for HBCUs. So it was a pretty cool experience. Unfortunately, we got there pretty late, so we were unable to do the field goal kicking and some of the interactive things.
Oh, no.
No, excuse me. The middle and the youngest, and the middle and the wife got to do the field goal experience. Yeah. The two people who can never actually kick a field goal. Then the two people who actually have played, the three people who have actually played soccer in their lives, and the one person who's actually kicked field goals before, couldn't get down there in time to do it. So we didn't get to do the field goal kicking experience. But after leaving from the College Football Hall of Fame, it was actually, again, a really, really cool experience, and I recommend if you go to Atlanta and you're a fan of sports. It's not a huge museum, but it's a pretty cool experience. We left out of there. We walked around Centennial Park for a little bit. And then we went to the next stop on the college tour, which was Georgia State. So driving around Atlanta, just trying to find our way out of downtown, we just ended up in Georgia State. And so we explained to our oldest that this is the second kind of school, similar to Howard, where we grew up, is basically like you have your big campuses, you have your pretty private school that's all, wealthy folks and, private donors like Duke. You have your big state-sponsored school like University of North Carolina that you saw, big land grant college. And then you have something like Georgia State, which is a city college, kind of like Howard or like Morgan State or something along those lines. And so, that was pretty cool to get that experience. We leave from there. We're driving all around Atlanta, and we get to Carol Cousin house. Again, property values being what they are. This Bama got a house that's like twice the size of ours, and he probably pays like $30 more a month in his mortgage. It's ridiculous.
How and why do you have a 6-car garage?
And a second one. He has 2 garages. 2 garages, 2 driveways. Why?
I'm not hating at all, but I was thinking, okay, that's a lot.
They got whole areas of their house they don't even go to. They don't even be in them areas of the house. They just clean it, and then nobody goes to that part of the house anymore for months on end. But anyway, beautiful house, great people. We watched Final Four. It was awesome. Had some good food, fun, and laughs. That was good. Woke up the next morning, and we decided we're going to do some Atlanta touristy stuff, right?
Stone Mountain.
Did we do Stone Mountain, or did we do the second day we did, or was that all the first day where we did the Civil Rights Museum? That was all the first day in Atlanta? Yeah. So when you go to museums when you're from out of town, so all of us are in the DMV, I got to let y'all know something. We spoiled. We spoil. We're blessed. We don't realize this, but when you go out of town, you got to pay to go to a museum.
I know, right?
Pay to go to a museum?
Yes.
What? What?
Do that into your budget.
It cost almost $100. It cost almost $100 just to have my family of 5 go to the Civil Rights Museum. And again, I'm from somewhere. In the DMV, we got the Smithsonian. In the Smithsonian, we got the African American History Museum. And so I go to the Civil Rights Museum. It's nice. It's important. We like things like this. We want representation. We want museums like this. However, I had to pay almost $100 for my family of 5 to go see a museum that literally took us 20 minutes to walk through.
Well, okay, well, it took y'all less time because you know that I like to read every single piece of the exhibit, and I will stop and reflect, and I'll just be sitting there thinking in my head, wow, they went through this, went through that. And so that museum took me, I don't know how long it took me, but it was longer than y'all.
Oh yeah, we were sitting outside. I done went and got their asses Dippin' Dots.
I couldn't find y'all, and so here I was, and then when I finally finished the museum, y'all had already walked through the park and got whatever y'all were getting, and I couldn't find y'all. My phone died, so either I didn't have service, something like that, but I could not call you all. And so I had to borrow a phone and call you to see where you were because I could not find my family. I was lost in Atlanta as a grown-up.
Sounds like a whack TV show. I was lost in Atlanta as a grown-up. But yes, we are spoiled by the fact that our museums are free. So yes, we spent more than, I would say probably close to $200 that day on just museum entrance fees and silly snacks. Like, and the crazy thing is we didn't even go to the one museum that was really probably the most fun that was down there, which was the Coca-Cola Museum. That was probably the most fun. Because they had
limited admission, and we couldn't get tickets. Even though it was open, they didn't have any more tickets for that day.
Again, remembering that this is the COVID era.
Yeah, and so we couldn't get in.
So, anyway, that was our Atlanta touristy experience. We left from there. We obviously took the prerequisite pictures on that bridge in front of the skyline. We went to the traditional civil rights places and experiences. So yeah, we left from the Civil Rights Museum. We had our little snacks. We saw Georgia State, and then we decided we were going to do the prerequisite Atlanta stuff, like I was saying. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say that. So as I was referring to earlier, we did the prerequisite Atlanta stuff. Took those pictures on the bridge. We went and saw Martin Luther King's old neighborhood and the old civil rights landmarks as well. And one of the things about civil rights landmarks, especially when you go somewhere like Atlanta, where there is such a rich civil rights history, is just the interesting things of how the landmarks are. One of the things that we did notice, on a more serious tip, one of the things we did notice when we rode down south was the difference in how our culture tends to look at our culture. And what do I mean by that? So like, we grew up in the DC area. If you've ever been to Washington DC, I'm sure you've been to the museums, you've been to the Smithsonian, you've been to the zoo, you've been to Natural History Museum. We now have the African American History and Culture. Amazing museum, amazing experience. You almost can't even do it in a day. It's amazing. It brings a tear to your eye when you see how serious they took our culture. And so you go to other cities have museums too. So we were in Memphis, we were in Birmingham, we were in Atlanta, we were in Charlotte, we were in Nashville. All these big cities down south, right? One of the things myself and my wife noticed immediately is that some of these other cities don't take their black history nearly as serious, or even their history in general, as serious as they do in the DC area. Case in point, went to the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. If you don't know the story about that,
please check it out. There were 4 young girls.
Please check it out.
Who were attending Sunday school in the basement of the church. And this was, of course, during the times when there were so many bombings of random places. And so these 4 young girls died as a result of the bombing of the church. It's a very historic landmark.
And so right all around the church, there's like actually a nice big park where they have statues, different sculptures and plaques, dedications, things like that. But that entire park is surrounded by nothing but urban blight. Just it's not developed whatsoever. There's no commercial interests around there whatsoever. It's dirty. There's a lot rampant homelessness and drug abuse all in the area. It was bad, and it made you feel kind of sad that's what's going on in this particular area. When we first drove into Birmingham, parts of it were sparkling. It looked like a Hollywood movie set. Like, it literally looked like, wow, like this is like a trip back in time. So like maybe this is what like big cities look like back in the 60s. Like it was like a trip back in time almost. And then we came up to this area and we're like, dang, really? Another case in point, we were in Atlanta. After going downtown and doing the usual touristy stuff, we did the whole Centennial Park thing and walked around. And we did the College Football Hall of Fame, and we went to the Civil Rights Museum. Again, really cool stuff. But we decided, okay, well, we're going to do some things on foot. We went over to the birthplace and home of Martin Luther King. That whole street is historic. It's like all the buildings are still restored to their historical way they were back in the 50s and 60s. It's really nice area, right? Within a block from that, trap houses everywhere. Everybody's outside doing their thing. And of course, I grew up in this area, so that doesn't make me uncomfortable. But what it does make me feel is like, dang, like they're not even preserving their history. They're not taking the time to preserve important Black history. Now, I'm not saying that people can't live in their own neighborhood, and they should be able to live in their own neighborhood, because gentrification is a topic for another episode. Gentrification is one of my least favorite realities of living in the DC area, especially growing up here and seeing how everything has changed. Like, gentrification is one of those things. It's one of the great evils of society. Gentrification equals colonialism, but that's a metaphor that might fly over a bunch of people's heads. But in any event, it threw me off that within a couple of blocks there were just, burnt out houses, crumbled down buildings, everything like that, and like right by one of the most important historical sites to our culture that exists, period. And it struck me as really, really upsetting, because when you come to DC, for example, anytime that there are historic landmarks that have to do specifically with our culture, they're not just celebrated, they're like literally considered landmarks, and whole things are built all around them to keep that kind of stuff from happening. Now, it's not a perfect analogy, because like if you're on U Street by the African American Civil War Memorial, there's definitely drug abuse and homelessness around there. However, it's nowhere near on the level of what we experienced when we were in Birmingham. So that was just one of those realities of driving down south, and you realize that you're in different kind of cities. And so after we left from the Birmingham area, we're driving. It's starting to get late. We got to get our tails all the way to Memphis.
Now, I do want to add that during these various other states in between, like Mississippi, I didn't want to see anything in Jackson. So I got a picture of a sign saying, yes, I was here. Keep on going. So, yes, Jason brings us to Memphis. And so you hear that sigh, because this is actually where our whole family-friendly strip club environment comes in.
Oh my God.
Because I am the planner in terms of making sure that we have our hotel and all that, but I failed to, check all the ratings of said hotel, and the photos online did not show that it was in the parking lot of a strip club. And so when we get to the hotel, it's very late, we're exhausted. I did not think I would be seeing people getting their one night stand on, whether they're paid or not paid to be doing that. It was just a whole lot of in your face, and it was blatant. I was like, oh, okay, they came from the strip club and walked across the parking lot to get to the hotel, which was, mind you, a name brand hotel.
As the resident podcaster who has been to some places in some not so nice neighborhoods before, the moment I got off the exit. The moment I got off the exit ramp, I was like, as soon as I got off the exit ramp, I was like, bruh, okay. Like, you know, I'm comfortable in this environment, but not necessarily what I want my kids in.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh. Okay, and then they're talking about getting some food. So okay, I guess we gotta go to Wendy's, right?
It was right in the same.
No, Wendy's
lot.
was literally right across. So we go to Wendy's. Wendy's is in the parking lot with the strip club. So we pull up to the Wendy's, and this is the most ghettoest, countryest motherfucking Wendy's damn window person of all time. First of all, they didn't have 90% of their menu, but he was cool peoples though, cause he was like, nah, he was like, hey, bro, nah, nigga, we ain't got that, dog. We ain't got no more bacon, dog.
Just like just like
that. Hey, y'all, dog. We ain't really got no more bacon, dog. So y'all don't have to order something else. Y'all talk about, you know, he from Memphis. They all talking about, hey, we ain't got no bacon, dog. So we get our little food. We get into the hotel. Carol checks into the hotel. I'm sitting in the truck outside the hotel while she walks inside, and it's exactly what she was talking about. I witnessed several drug deals go down in the parking lot,
and you see people in the lobby.
Again, I've been somewhere, so I see where we are. I see where we are, and the first thing I'm thinking is that hotel on New York Avenue, around the corner from the icebox by where the Checkers is y'all little raggedy, dirty MFers. But anyway, like that's the first thing I'm thinking. I was like, yeah, this is not a good spot. But whatever, because we're only here to sleep, right?
And
we're only here to sleep.
We're exhausted, and so for a few minutes, I don't know whether I told you this at the time, but I thought in my head that I'd rather just sleep in the car than go inside. Because when I saw the lobby and the shenanigans that were going on in the lobby, I'm like, can I have my kids here? This is not a family-friendly place that is basically an extension of the strip club called like the Purple Diamond or whatever it was called.
I do believe it was
like
called Purple Diamond.
Purple sign
I believe it was called Purple Diamond Gentlemen's Club LLC. Anyway, we finally go ahead, park the truck. We go into the room. We get inside the room. The room smelled like smoke. There was a nasty white stain in the middle of the carpet. And like at that point, I didn't even want to eat. I didn't want to drink. There was no remote to the television. There was no like the AC was like.
Those hotels are used for sex, not for families and their kids.
Once again, I'm aware of these things.
Well, I know that
I'm aware. As soon as we got off the exit, I was like, "This isn't the Holiday Inn that we wanted to go to."
I mean, it was the Holiday Inn, but it was not.
This isn't the Holiday Inn that we wanted to go to.
I had regrets as soon as it got there.
This the one that Chingy and Snoop was singing about, talking about what we doing, chilling at the Holiday Inn. That's what they was doing. But anyway, nobody slept under the blankets. Nobody touched any of the sheets or the towels or anything.
Don't take off your socks. Just keep your clothes on, and we got up extra early so we can get the heck up out of that
we woke up early. Went and got breakfast from Burger King. That was a struggle again because my family was just arguing about their food. They gave me a little tiny ass coffee, like that joke was going to do anything for him, brother. Didn't do nothing for me, but it didn't matter because we was in Memphis. So we left out. We went and go saw the pyramid. That was pretty cool, really cool architecture, and
at the stadium,
the Bass Pro Shop Stadium, the pyramid. We went to like a little visitor center for Memphis, and then of course my wife had to do what she needed to do.
Okay, let me just pause, my dear wonderful husband, before you even bring up that story, because Memphis had a lot of history. So like we definitely enjoyed seeing the historical buildings, like
we went down Beals. We went down. We went to the Lorraine Hotel. That's true. That's another Smithsonian institution. Big ups to my job for having a cool for setting that up. Yeah, like it's a Smithsonian institution down there, the Lorraine Hotel where Martin Luther King was shot, and it's a really cool installation. Unfortunately, it was closed the day we went down, so we couldn't go inside and actually see the whole exhibit and everything. But yeah, that was cool. We went down Beale Street. That was cool.
Had some good barbecue.
Remember that wasn't really the barbecue restaurant we wanted to go to. That was like where they go to, and we decided to go to the one they go to just because of the name. Of time constraints, and it was BB King. So yeah, we went there. We did a little bit of sightseeing and listened to some music and stuff.
But that's our matching socks Michelle Obama and President Obama.
Man, them socks don't even match,
at
dog.
the souvenir store
They
across
don't
the
even.
street.
First of all, the socks don't match. The two pairs of socks just happen to have the president and the first lady. The socks don't match.
They're different
One of them is one of them is a whole cartoon caricature, and the other one is a sublimated, realistic picture. They do not match. Other than the fact that they're both Obama socks.
We can still wear them together one day and just.
So we go around Memphis. We do the whole historic Beale Street thing, which is pretty cool if you've never been. Like, I'm sure at night it's probably jumping. We were there during the middle of the day. It was randomly hot too. I remember that day. It was really hot that day for a random like April afternoon or something. So, dump everybody back in the car.
And then it's time for us, time for me to be spontaneous, because this was back in the time when there was this hilarious gut busting, make you laugh, tears of laughter. So there was a show on Netflix, Buried by the Bernards. And so my mother and I don't know whether it was Aaliyah or Angelina and I, we will be cracking up watching episodes on repeat, laughing as hard as it was the first time. So I am a bit talkative sometimes, maybe could be offensive, but I don't mean to be. So I wanted to go to the funeral home so I can see if I happen to see Debbie or maybe Richard, because that show at this time was really, really popular. I think it's popular. I needed a new season, but Jason thought I was kidding or like nuts for wanting to actually stop, and I was serious. We figured out how to get there. It was not really on the way out of town, but we made it on the way out of town. And there was not a funeral, I'll say, but maybe I don't know what it was, but I didn't want to intrude too much. So I had originally planned on going inside and asking, is Debbie there? So I can get a picture, but like, hey, Debbie, you're hilarious. But I did. Okay, and I do have tact, and I do have couth. So when I realized that there was something going on there, I did not go to the door, but I did ask someone what's going on. And it was not a funeral. And that's all I have to say.
Memphis is like Minnesota Avenue, just so you know. If you're familiar with the DMV, Memphis is like that stretch. The whole city of Memphis is like that stretch from Deanwood Station all the way to Minnesota and Pennsylvania. That's what the whole Memphis is like. It's dirty. It's full of potholes, broken down buildings. Like, we went to the Stax Museum, right?
Hey, that was good too.
Stax Museum was dope, by the way. Stax Museum is dope. Like, if you love music, it's a definite thing you should check out. Stax Museum was actually dope. It was great experience. Got some cool souvenirs, listened to some great music, heard some great stories. They have an awesome nonprofit and a charter school there for the musically gifted. So Stax Museum was great. But literally, it's the only thing in the neighborhood that's not an abandoned building or a pile of rubble or a trap house. So again, I don't know what it is about the South, but it's just like, y'all just don't take care of your black neighborhoods like other places do. It's sad. Now, I'm not saying that DC do the same thing, because we worse. We gentrify everything and kick all the black people out so that they all shop at Clinton Walmart now. And then it's not like other cities where they just price everybody out, or just let it be trash like Baltimore. So anyway, it's not ideal, but that was the one thing I noticed when driving around South. It was like that in North Carolina. It was like that in Atlanta, where there was trap houses around the corner from Martin Luther King's house. It was like that in Birmingham, where there was literally homeless people all in the park dedicated to the church bombing. There's just homeless people all around the joint, open air drug deals. Then you go to Memphis. Memphis, the whole city is broke down other than the actual tourist spots. And so, yeah, the Stax Museum was dope, but that was the one thing we noticed, even when we were trying to find the little Bernard's funeral home. Because they got a new special out. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not even gonna do it, because we start quoting that joke. If we start quoting that joke, she gonna be laughing for the next hour and a half, man. But anyway, yes, we seen it, and we went there, and again, it was just like, it was kind of dilapidated and raggedy. It just made me feel like, man, that's just a shame how certain cities do black people. But anyway, we leave from Memphis, drive across the state, we end up in Nashville. Nashville is dope.
We forgot that I'm the one like little pit stop in Arkansas, so that way we could say
Oh
that
my
that
God!
we've
So
been
we
to
can say we've been to Arkansas.
I hadn't been to Arkansas. Had I been to Arkansas before? No, I'd never been there before. And so because it's right by Memphis, just across the bridge, and that river stunk.
Yeah, so the Mississippi River smells
think
like
it's the Mississippi
actual
River.
smells like actual shit. And I'm not saying like, oh, it smells bad. It smells like shit. No, I mean like it literally smells like
permeates the
somebody
car.
came outside of your front porch and took a dump on your front porch. And then when you walked out in the morning, that's what the Mississippi River smelled like. Just awful.
Yeah, so we did go to Arkansas. We were there maybe for, I don't know,
15 minutes.
15, 20 minutes, but it still counts. Like, so I got my picture with the Welcome Center, I guess, director. I don't know whether she wasn't used to seeing black people like come in or what was going on, but I definitely did not feel welcome going to go use the bathroom at the Welcome Center.
Hell no, you weren't welcome. You were not welcome at the Welcome
No,
Center.
I was not welcome there, so I had to make sure those kids stuck close to me. Look, we're going here to use the bathroom. They put you outside, then we're leaving. So we left Arkansas, and then we headed to Nashville. And so Nashville, we did have a hotel that was in a very nice, cleaned up area of the city. We got to see one of my cousins and his wife, Hey DJ, aka Larry, and Stephanie. So that was really good to seeing them, because I hadn't seen him, I guess, since his wedding. That was in Nashville like 3.5 years ago. So that was good seeing them in person, opposed to just like texting and calling. So Nashville was cool. We had to make sure that we got some of that Nashville hot chicken. And well, Nashville actually had a bad memory because that's when the car stopped working.
Nashville was pretty cool. So yeah, like we pulled up that night and we got to, sit through HBCU band practice. That was dope.
That was
was actually dope. Getting to sit through Tennessee State's practice. Again, we were able to
DJ.
expose my daughter to another type of school, the big HBCU, because she's been exposed to Morgan and she's been exposed to Howard, but not to a big like HBCU where it's like a real campus. So
we
this
did
was
Fisk too.
yeah.
Yes, we did
and
Fisk
Fisk, and we went to Fisk as well.
That's the
So
next day, I
like,
think.
so yeah, that was dope that she got to see a tiny old school HBCU and then a big bad HBCU like Tennessee State. So that was dope, getting to see the campus and feel the vibe from the marching band, and some of the football teams were practicing. That was pretty cool. So yeah, we got to hang out with DJ and the fam. Much better hotel this time, by the way.
Yes.
And she had conservative Confederate chicken right next door to the hotel.
walk there.
So that was good for her that she got her little nugs on, because
get my
wifey
Chick-fil-A.
needs her chick nugs. We know she needs her nugs.
It's the MSG. That sauce. It's the MSG.
So then we got to hang out with DJ for a little while, and we were leaving out with DJ and Steph. And then yes, the truck did have an issue that day. But it made it. She survived. We got White Castle, which was amazing. I've never even seen an actual White Castle restaurant in person. But we got White Castle and Tennessee hot chicken, Nashville hot chicken. And so all of that was all good. I forget the name of the restaurants, but it was a really, really popular hot chicken restaurant.
It was a lady's name.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but really, really popular restaurant. Big ups to them for being really good people, because me and Leah clearly didn't know how to order on the menu or anything.
Because I was in the car.
And the person came out and helped us. No, it was that busy. That's just how busy they were. It was crazy how busy they were. So yeah, we leave from the little White Castle and our hot chicken. We hit the road and we're driving. We're leaving from Nashville on the way back to the DMV. So we're on the road in Tennessee. If you've ever driven through Tennessee, that's a long state. It's a wide state. It takes for all day long to drive across Tennessee. So there's Memphis on the west side. Nashville is kind of 3/4 to the end, and as you're getting towards the end, you run into Knoxville when you're starting to get to the mountains. Now, this again was an interesting road trip, because not only did we get to see different parts of the country, different cities, different things like that, but we got to drive through valleys, we got to drive through farmland, we got to drive, through big cities, and then we got to drive through flat out mountainous terrain, like flat out scary mountains we were driving through in the Tennessee area. So we pull up and we stop in Knoxville because the babies need to use the bathroom. Figured it's a good time. Hey, Aaliyah, here goes another kind of land grant college, but a little bit more of an urban land grant college where they build the entire campus, specifically the entire town exists for the University of Tennessee. Everything was bright orange. The whole campus it was actually a beautiful campus, another beautiful campus. Everything was bright orange. Football stadium's huge. The basketball stadium was huge. So she actually really liked the University of Tennessee. She liked how everything was, like how the campus was put together more so than anything else. By this point, we're all getting frustrated because we've been in the car for a long time. Yeah, MVP of the road trip driving is starting to get to the point where he's tired of these people. I just want to kick everybody out this truck or tell them all go to sleep so I can just drive. But we leave from Knoxville. We get to a rest stop. I go to the bathroom. I get a cheer wine.
You're putting your business out there about your bathroom stop.
I just had, man, whatever. I just had to go to the bathroom, man, whatever. I take a leak. Get a cheer wine. And my significant other, who I'm related to by marriage, says, you know what? I want to drive. I want to make it easier. I want to help. I want to drive. I say, okay, babe, go ahead. You can drive. She makes it. Not even, she made it an hour and 15 minutes before she was like, I can't drive anymore. I can't drive anymore. It's dark. My eyes hurt.
And I was also,
my eyes hurt. I can't see. I'm tired. She was having issues, so we go ahead and pull over. And your man jumps back in the driver's seat for the stretch run. So the stretch run of this whirlwind adventure brings us through the most boring and treacherous and dangerous part of the whole daggone trip. And that's that Eastern Tennessee, Western Virginia area. So where everything is mountains and rednecks. Just, you don't even want to get out the truck. You don't even want to stop. You don't want to do anything because everything around here is mountains and rednecks. And it's just like, if you make one false turn, you're going to fall off the side of a mountain and die. It was not a fun, friendly part of the trip. However, we made it through. We're still driving. Everybody's asleep. We get to Western Virginia. Part of me wants to wake up Aaliyah so she can see Virginia Tech, because Virginia Tech is one of the schools that she's actually semi-interested in. But, you know, she wanted to go see Braxton Burmeister III, her favorite college quarterback. But anyway, you know, everybody's asleep. We're still driving through the Virginia mountains. I finally find my way through Petersburg and through Charlottesville, and then go up through through Spotsylvania and all these other random places in the middle of the night, finally making my way back to the DMV, cross the bridge, get over into Maryland, get these people home, back the truck up. We made it. Finally made it.
Thank God the truck made it, because I was having an internal panic attack, and probably external panic attack too, when the truck would not go at a stoplight, was green in Nashville. We had to make it all the way home. So yes, I was very, very panicky. I was scared. I was worried. Any other synonym for panicky and scared. But Jason got us back. The truck made it. It didn't die again. So then that is the road trip, the epic Black History is American History / college tour road trip that we had. I'm giving you a preview of last episode. And so this just brings us back to like why it's so important for in a marriage, friendship, partnership, whatever, to have someone who is spontaneous and someone who is a bit more routine based, because y'all balance each other out. And so without me being married to someone who is spontaneous, I really doubt that I would have had the idea of going on this road trip, because that was out of my comfort zone big time by not planning. So we did plan eventually, like the day before and 2 days before, or as we were in the car, we would plan for the next state. But it's really good just to balance each other out. So anything else you want to add to it, baby?
No, that's basically it. It was a fun adventure, and I'd do it again. I love going on trips. I love doing these kind of adventures, man. It's fun just seeing new stuff and being new places.
Yep. So thanks for listening to The Linguistic Show. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram @Linguistic Show. Check out the website, linguisticshow.com, and we'll talk to you next time.
See ya. If you enjoyed this, like, comment,
subscribe, and share to the Linguistic Show.
This has been an Ashangali Enterprises production.
Co-produced by Naomi. Music by Brassville.